What is good, YouTube? It's Coach Ryan Rizuki, and I'm excited to bring you a really important topic today that not a lot of people talk about. And we want to talk today about the path that the ball takes on various different shots, whether it's a set shot, a pull-up, or a fadeaway. I want you to see how that ball gets up to your set point and then how you're supposed to release. We'll talk first about set shots, but this is ideally more about pull-ups, step backs, and fadeaways and different types of shots that are a little bit more difficult that allow you to create your own shot. Because again, the most important thing to me is always your ability to score off of various different methods. I want you to have the capability to score at any time and all times, not having to depend on somebody else. Now, again, quick disclaimer, there are some players who have been successful shooting the ball incorrectly, but I'm not going to teach those things. I'm going to show you exactly why I teach it the way I do to help you as best as I can. Now, the sport of basketball requires so much movement, going right, going left, going forward, going backwards, turning around, spinning, shooting from close, and shooting from a distance. So if we can try to keep anything consistent, it's going to be our mechanics. So we'll take a look at a few things that we don't want to do. And of course, I never want to bring that ball up the opposite side of my face. You can already see the elbow flare, and oftentimes this is going to mess with your release, getting that flick of the ball, sometimes your rotation as well. And this is definitely going to limit a lot of your scoring options and your ability to shoot in general. Now here I'm going to be bringing that ball up the strong side or the right side of my body, but it's outside of my shoulder. And now that ball is almost like a catapult, going way too far in this huge circle outside, trying to get back towards that middle and then release. But this is not what we want, and this is not going to help to keep our shot simple and be very consistent. I also don't want my hands on the side of the ball. Even if you are able to rotate your palm underneath, this is again causing extra movement, and the more that we can limit that, the better it's going to be for our shot. So try to get your hands prepped earlier and not have it in front or on the sides. Ideally, you want your shooting hand behind the ball or even a little bit on top, but definitely not on the sides and definitely not in front of the ball. It causes extra and unnecessary movement, and if we look at our guide hand, we also want it just completely on the side without ever having to push the ball. You'd prefer not to have it on top of the ball. The more that we can limit offhand involvement, the better. And after this clip, I'm going to show you another clip, which is the most common mistake that youth players make. And so I'm going to show you this close angle here, but as I bring the ball up, you can actually see that my shooting hand is right here behind the ball, and my guide hand is on the side of the ball. All the things that I want, bring that ball perfectly straight up. However, my guide hand will end up turning, and then my wrist will be facing the basket of my left hand. This is a huge mistake that a lot of youth players make as they bring that ball up to their set point. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in fast motion, but just this turn of the wrist forces players to then push the ball with two hands. And of course, we don't want to do that. Now, like I mentioned for this video, we're going to be looking at the ball and the path that it takes to get into our shot. So I want to show you from a front angle some different things. But the most important thing to see from the side angle is that the ball will never cross our face. And so I'll show you what DeMar DeRozan is doing incorrectly that some other players are doing better. Now you can see from that side view, of course, Klay Thompson, guys like Zach LaVine, I'll show you Donovan Mitchell in a second. They're never going to allow that ball to cross to the back of their head or across their face. And so from the front angle, now I want to show you how to be able to get off every single shot, no matter what type of shot it is. Now remember, my goal is to make you a phenomenal scorer while also being a great shooter, having good consistent mechanics as well. But now you're going to see a few different types of shots that will involve the ball to not go up in a straight path, but will still end up in the same spot. So if we look at a turnaround fadeaway, that ball actually has to come from the left side of my face because I need to keep it away from my defender. And of course, I just turned around, I'm turning over that right shoulder. So I got to do the most I can to keep that ball totally away from that defense. And then I also want to actually bring it up early as to not allow them to strip it down below. So now the ball's on my left face, but of course, as I actually continue to fade away and continue to rebalance and reposition my shoulders, then you can see that that ball is going to get exactly where I need it to go, right above my eye. Now this is the only type of shot that allows the ball to come up with this path here, a little bit diagonal, and it's because of the movement of the body. Now of course it still goes up to the same spot, so we're good from here onto the rest of the shot. Now everything is perfectly straight, and the ball will never cross to the back of my head. I'm glad you got a chance to see that one so you can get a little bit better at your fadeaways. This isn't necessarily something that you should be practicing, getting the ball from the wrong side of the face, but just the way that you protect the ball away from the defense, and then of course getting it back right above that eye. Now let's say I'm doing a right-handed dribble pull-up. You can see the right hand dribble, right hand pickup, left hand touches the ball, and then it comes right through the right hip up to my right eye. Everything is perfect and seamless. But left hand dribble is going to actually go bounce. I'm here 1-2, and I start to bring that ball up and actually pick it up a little bit below my left shoulder, continue to bring that up until it gets to my right eye. But I wanted to bring it up as high as I could almost until I touched it with two hands, because I again want to keep it protected away from that defender. But I still need that ball to get to my set point right above that eye. I'm not going to allow it to travel anywhere else on my head. The best scorers in the world can always get that ball where they need to at that set point, being able to use their body, their contact, and their footwork to find that spot, and of course protecting the ball by bringing it out wherever you need to so you don't get stripped. Now as you get up into that set point, you want to have that perfect and identical release every single time. And that's why, as I tell you, no matter how many movements are involved with the game of basketball, as long as you can keep that perfectly consistent shot with the same form and same mechanics, you're going to be a much better scorer. My goal for you guys is to have insane consistency with your shooting and be able to score in every physical way possible. So no matter what you have to do, you can always figure out a way to get a bucket. If someone's taller, shorter, faster, stronger, quicker, whatever it is, more aggressive, you can always score. And so that's why I care so much about the way that you attack and your footwork and your flow and your rhythm and the way that the ball's protected. All the little nuances and details matter a ton. So I'm glad that I can keep providing some of this knowledge for you guys, and I want to keep doing that. So make sure that if you haven't already, that you're subscribed and like this video if it's helping you a lot. From all the training that I've done and being able to see what players do right and what players do wrong consistently, I can easily identify and see things about your shooting form and your mechanics and the different ways that you get into the shots and the movements that you make to know if you're doing them correctly or not. And so oftentimes players will ask about my shooting breakdowns and if I can take a look at their shot and see how they can improve it. So if you want me to help you to improve your jump shot, you can reach out to me on Instagram at R2Bvolve, and I can do a shot breakdown for you. It is not free, but it is fairly cheap, and it's a great way to help you with your scoring and your shooting overall. Not everybody in the world will shoot exactly the same, but our goal is to give you that foundation to help you to shoot as close to perfect form as possible. And if we can get as close as we can, that's going to help you to have the best consistency and the most scoring options. Let me know in the comments down below, which NBA player do you think you shoot the most like, and who would you like to shoot like?